Hello everyone, welcome to a new part in this tutorial series. So in this video we're gonna learn quite a lot of stuff in MobX-State-Tree, and I think that's gonna be really nice for everyone who want to start to use a MobX-State-Tree in their project. So what we're gonna learn, it's gonna be about the apply snapshot method. We're gonna learn also about the destroy, and it's not MobX-State-Tree, but we're gonna learn in React navigation the dismiss method. I think that's gonna be pretty great. So the plan of this video is gonna be to be able to edit an address and also to delete an address. So we're gonna finish the CRUD about the address in this video. So in the next one we can jump on the future feature. One of the things also I want to talk about, it's as I see in some of the comment, people have say like less design, more like kind of logic with MobX. So I think this is what we're gonna do. So what I mean is, for the address, I think we're gonna keep it like that. Maybe make it a bit better, just like kind of a row, but we don't gonna really put design time there. So the first thing I want to fix before we go further is this thing, okay? You see here, I fetch all the address when I get to the screen. If I go back and I came back again, I get this kind of error, okay? If you read the error, I say in the last video then we're gonna use map and things like that, but we don't even need it because as you know, MobX-State-Tree, it's really strong in the typing. And what that means, it's example, if you always say this thing is going to be a number and you receive a string, MobX-State-Tree gonna send an error like that. They're gonna say, hey, finally we cannot assign this type to this path, because remember, this is a state tree, so you have a path for everything. Here they say a path geo longitude value undefined is not assignable to type number. Value is not a number. We don't need to do a lot, okay? Just go back to a user address, and here you change your type number just to be type, we're gonna say maybe null, or you can say maybe type number. Now if you're refreshing your screen and you click on address and you go back and you click back at address, you're gonna have any problem, no problem at all. So I think it's pretty nice, but the thing you see, it maybe go really fast, but the spinner still working, and I really don't like this kind of stuff. So what we can do with this kind of spinner, it's if we go to the address screen, so there will be addresses screen. Here we put the spinner if this is loading, okay? But the thing is, it's not just about is loading. I want to show that if this is loading and also it's finally empty. And if it's not both, because like remember, this stuff stay, like if I go back and I see my element, so if I go out star.info.addresses and I do 2JSON example, we have my 2 array, okay? I'm back, but I still have my stuff. So we don't really need to show again a spinner because it's already there. So that's going to be the same value. The thing about that is going to be kind of a caching. So what I mean is when you're going to get to the screen, you're going to fetch the new one, but because we use indentifier like that, they're going to be update if something have update in the fetching. So what you can do here is just finally say, hey, here I want to show this loading spinner if this is loading and this is address is empty also, so both things together. If it's not loading but still being an address empty, we're gonna show the empty, and else we show the element. So I think it's pretty nice here. The thing we can maybe fix, it's gonna be just to well, we can keep it like that, so just to see it. So now if I click on my address, you see we get the fetch first time. Now if I go back, we don't gonna have any other fetch. But if something get updated because we have an indentifier, that's really important to understand. If we have an indentifier, the way that's gonna work in MobX-State-Tree, it's we're gonna have like example addresses slash here the ID slash, and here we're gonna have the path for everything. So example, We're gonna have the path for the street, and you're gonna have the path for app num. So because they know the identifier, they can update it really easily. So for those who have already done a kind of apollo-graphql and things like that, this is a feature like you like, so you don't need to update everything inside your app. So one thing we want to do, we're gonna fix this UI really quick. Like I told you, I don't want to put too much time. And the way we're gonna work with that is gonna be just to create a component for each list item. So inside the component, we're gonna create an address list item.js file. Let me know first also in the comment if you like this font. I changed the font to make it like more weight, and also if you like the color theme, so it's gonna be easier for you to read. So here we're gonna import React in the component. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a component. So address list item. Oops, sorry about that. Like that. List. I'll make a typo. Address list item. One of the features I would like VS Code to take from like WebStorm, it's when you create a file, they have like the autocomplete. They know because you have created a file, then you're gonna surely use this name. So would be nice, but I mean. So we're gonna import after that from React Native the touchable. So I don't gonna get the touchable opacity. So because we're gonna need a button. And why we're gonna need a button, it's because we want to be able to click on each of the list item to go to another screen. After that, here we're gonna have a box from my library React Native design utility. We need a box, and we're gonna also need the text. So here for the text, we're gonna get that from the address. So inside the address screen, you see, this is finally this same stuff we're gonna have. So I'm gonna just copy this really quick, like that. We don't gonna need a key because the key gonna be managed from the parent. But for this box, make it really quick. We're gonna say we want a height of 50 pixel, and I want some padding left and right to be equal to the small. So remember, how you search that, you just go here, you check for the space, and small equal to 16. And finally, we're gonna go with some justify center. So the text is gonna be aligned from top to the bottom. And after that, I'm gonna just create a function here called handle press, and I'm gonna pass it to this touchable opacity, like that. Okay. Now this address list item, I want to use it right there. So I will say address list item. What? That was really strange. So we're gonna import it from there. So address list item from component address list item. Now remember, we need to pass back the key. So that's gonna be equal to the address that underscore ID. Remember, the key will be nice to always be in a string. Here we always know that it's going to be a string because MobX-State-Tree do this for us. But you can wrap this inside a string constructor if you want. After that, I just need to pass the address like that. For those who ask why I do address like that and not something like, because I see this a lot, it's because I use TypeScript or flow type in some of my project, and it's much more easier when you want to type, example, the props to do address equals something. I like more than doing an extend or doing like a address, and you see what I mean? But it's your choice at the end. But for here, we're gonna use address. So if I want to use the street right there, I just need to destructuring this from the props like that. So now, just to see if that's gonna work, we're gonna refresh the screen. I think I'm gonna make this simulator a bit bigger for you. And now if I click here, I go to my address, I see each of my address, and now they are clickable. Yes, they are clickable like that. So now what I want to do, it's because I don't really like them. I don't really like the fact that they are in the middle. So what I think it's happening, it's because of this center right there. So if we remove the center, by default that's going to be start. So that's going to be in the top left, so right there. So we see here we have the px and everything, and we have the px of medium here, so we can remove it just to make it a bit better. And that's going to be the last CSS stuff. Yeah, just like that. Okay, it's not the best, but maybe if you want to make it a bit better, you can just put a style, put a border, bottom, width of style sheet, because I want the smallest version of the width, and I want border button color, and I'm gonna take it from my theme. Man, I really don't understand this importing stuff now. Theme, yeah, so that's really strange. I use the insider, so it's maybe one of the problem. Theme, we want the theme, so here the button color gonna be gray. Like that. So we should be good now. Yeah, just like that. Now I want, when I click there, to go to my edit screen. Okay, so for that we're gonna create a new screen here called edit address screen.js. This screen is going to be a component, a really simple component. This thing is going to be about managing the abstraction of the form. You're going to see what I mean in a moment. So for now, we're going to just import a box. Wow. Man, that was working yesterday, so I find it really strange that my studio code get crazy like that. So we want the text also, and I'm gonna just say here edit screen. So as you know, we need to go to the index.js inside the screen. So screen index.js. This is the place where we put each screen inside a stack finally, and we want to put that inside the address form stack. Okay, so I'm gonna put the edit address, where that's gonna be a get screen like that, but the value for this is gonna be now this edit screen. To make sure we can jump to this screen, we're gonna need to put this function in the handle press, and I want to make use of my navigation services we have created in one of the first video. So navigation service, and the name is navigation service. You say navigation service that navigate, and you just need to make sure then this is the same name we put here. So edit address. So now when I click, I'm supposed to be able to push to this screen. So if I click to my address, you see I push to the screen, but now if I go back, I get this. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that. So this is what we want, but we're gonna need to fix some stuff. Okay, first thing, it's when I click there, I want to change the title of my of my header. So navigation option, and I'm gonna already make it as a function because I'm gonna want to have my X icon. So the way we can handle this, it's if we go to the address form screen, I think this is the one we have it. We see we have this stuff here, so we're gonna just copy those, say here edit address, and for the close button, I think this is coming in from my common, yeah, like that. So now just by doing this, at least the screen's gonna be a bit better. So what I mean, it's now we're gonna see edit address and with the X. And why I put a X, it's because remember this is a model, so I can do this. So I think for me, having an X, it's better than a back. So, but you see, now when I back, I get to this screen. But that's gonna be fixed. But first, we need to think about how we're gonna work, on this process where we can add an address and edit an address. I don't want to change the form, okay? The form is gonna stay the same. If I add or edit an address, this is the same kind of stuff. If you came from the web, or I don't know, like you've done like a Ruby on Rails, or you did a Phoenix Elixir, I think even Python Django, like when you do server-side kind of rendering stuff, I mean, not the server-side rendering, but oh yeah, I mean the templating engine they give you. A lot of the time, the way we work, it's we create like a new screen, a new page, and we create also an edit page, and both use the same form as a partial finally. So this is almost what we want to do. So the way that's gonna work, it's we need to first see how that works. So we have the address form screen, where here it's all the form, okay? So I want to use this form now to make it as a form and not just as a screen. So that's gonna be a component who can be able to be added to another screen. So the way that's gonna work, it's first thing, I'm gonna copy the edit address screen. I'm gonna paste it there to my screen. Now I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna click enter just to override the name, and I'm gonna say create address screen. I'm gonna change the edit to be create, but yeah, like that. Now if I go to my index here, the way that's gonna work now, it's we're gonna add finally this create inside the stack we have already built. So we're gonna change address form to be create address, like that. Now I want, when I click the add button, to be able to go to this screen. So this is inside address screen. We have this address form here. I'm gonna change that to be create address. So just to see that's gonna work now, if I go here and I click add, I see my create address. We don't have the form, I know, but, and now we have this. The problem here, it's look at that. This is a problem with React navigation. If we click add and I click X, perfect, I go back, no problem at all. Here, if I click there and I click the X, we do the same thing. It's the same go back. If you look here, it's the same go back as this thing. The thing is, because if you look at the order of the stack, you see, create address is the first one in the stack. So when you click back, this one here, no, they have nothing more in this stack. But edit address have the create address. So that's why, oops, sorry. That's why when I click on the edit and I click back, it say, oh, create address is the one in the back. So I'm gonna go back there. So the way to fix it, it's gonna be pretty simple. It's now we're gonna change this back stuff and things like that to be dismissed. I'm gonna change this also in the address, edit address, like that. I change it on both, so create address and edit address. So we're gonna test the create one, it worked, and now if I click the edit one, it worked. By using the dismiss, because I think it's just dismissing because it's some kind of a stack, so you can just dismiss finally all the stack and that go to the other one. So it's pretty nice. So that was the dismiss stuff I want to show you. So just make sure then you know all that work, and it's really nice. Example, when you push a model and you stack, I don't know, like 20 screen, and you want finally after that to go back to the home screen, so you just dismiss, or you just close all the stacking one you did. So now time to do the fun part. The first thing, we're gonna drag this inside the component folder. So the address form screen gonna be dragged because it's not anymore a screen, it's gonna be a form. We can change after that the name, like that, address form. Now, this address form gonna be import inside the edit. Like that. And it's gonna be use also in the create, because I told you that's gonna be the same stuff. Like that. Now, because it's not anymore a screen, we don't need anymore the static navigation option. So now if I go there, we're gonna see now I have the component, but you see how strange is that? Like we don't see it at all. The thing happening is here we need a flex one to make sure that this box take the full space, so his children can take the full space also. So now if I go there, so that will be the edit. So now you see, just by doing this, I get back to my edit screen. I am gonna do the same here. So just put a flex one like that. Perfect. So now, how can we make this address form to be able to be in edit mode and to be able to be inside a create mode? So the way I'm gonna work with that is by passing props. We're gonna make this address form changing, okay? So we're gonna say edit mode here like that. By putting this like this, that's gonna be a boolean who's gonna be true. So my address form now gonna receive this props. So I'm gonna destructuring the props. I think it's better to destructuring here. This is that props, and the name is edit mode. So finally, what I want first, it's gonna be here in the button here at the bottom to be, if I'm in edit mode, I want to show edit, else I want to show save. So ternary operator, nothing crazy. So now, if I click to the add, we see save, but if I click here, we see edit. So you see, now we have the same component, but with two behavior. After that, okay, to let the life easier, you see here the way we have worked with the form. We have each input, so street address and everything, we use one property called example street name, the other one use postal code, city and everything. But in real life, the address here have everything for us. So the way we can work and to keep it like that, it's by creating a computed value, okay? So I'm gonna create a computed value coming in from MobX. And this computed value is gonna create finally a property from the state we have. So here I'm gonna say get street at name, just to keep the same name as this one, like that. And now here I'm gonna make use of my get from low dash. And why I want to do this is because here I'm gonna return the get. We're gonna get as the first object the address and which path I want. It's gonna be the street. So street. So the same you see here, address street equal the street name. And if I have nothing, I want that to be an empty string. So now just by doing this, I can delete this observable, because now the street name we push inside this input here gonna came from the computed value. So just for showing you, if I add and I click to an address, so cannot read property navigate. So that was one of the problem. First thing here we see, we use the props navigation. So that's one of the reasons why I really love to use my navigation service, but we can fix it really easily. Here we can just say navigation. We need to pass down the props, so equal that. And now I'm gonna just copy this also to let my edit address one to get it. But don't worry, we're gonna remove it from the address form. I don't want the address form to be smart enough to know about the navigation. I want him to be dumb. Now if I click add, and now I click here, and I search an address, and I click on this one, now we get a problem. And now the thing is, computer, it's not possible to assign value to a computed value and things like that. And what happened? It's, if I look back to my address form, it's here I need to remove this stuff, because you see the error was, hey, you cannot finally assign a new value to a computed value, okay? Now we're gonna go back, try it again. You see, now it still works. So remember, if you want to update like a value, implicit or explicit, I don't know how you say that, but like if you want to update it this way, you need to be an observable. But if you want to update it from example another observable, like the observable we have already is the address, you can use a computed value like that. So now I just want to do this with all other postal code in city. So I'm gonna just copy both here. I'm gonna have one who's gonna be city, and then that's gonna be city. If I remember the one we take here, I'm gonna remove it, and the other one's gonna be postal code, like that. So now remove it from there, remove it from here, and now save. Now if I try it again, just to make sure, you see, this is one thing, always try your code with small little change. If you change 5 lines and you try your code and that break, it's 5 lines of debugging. If you try after 500 lines of new code, man, you don't gonna like your next hour. And now you see, everything's still working. That's perfect, because they computed value from the observable address. That's perfect. And why did I did that? That's maybe one of your questions. And the question gonna be pretty simple. It's from this edit address screen here. When I'm gonna click here, I want to fill everything here. The way I'm gonna handle that is by passing here a params to my navigation service, and what I can send is my address props like that. Okay. So what that means, it's now my address screen here gonna receive the address from the param. So you can say addresses, address, it's equal to the this.props.navigation.get param address. Now by doing this, now my address form gonna receive that, and now what I can do, it's right there. I can use again my get from Lodash, passing my this.props, saying take the address if it exists. If it don't exist, put null. So finally, just be the same as it was before, but take that without crashing or anything like that. So now if I go there, I click add, I'm perfect. Okay, I can still put an address and things like that, it works. But now if I click on 33 Bay Street, you see I already have filled my stuff. It's already filled. So it's pretty nice, because coming from that props, the observable get the address. After that, the street name computed himself because he see the observable have changed the observable address. So he can return the street, who get there, same for the city and same for postal code. So it's pretty nice. But now the thing is, if I click here, edit, that's gonna create a new address, okay? Because the thing is, both this save address thing do just this logic, okay? So the way we're gonna work with that now, it's first take this one, and we're gonna do the create address first. Take this one, paste the code we have there. Don't forget to import the mobx, not mobx like that, but import action from mobx to don't make it crash, because we need that for this. And one sec. So here we're gonna have the save. I'm gonna just call that save, because save address, I mean, that don't make any sense, because we know it's gonna be about address, so just save. So that I don't need the saving through here, because that's gonna be managed from the screen. After that, I want to still have this out star, so I need to inject from native, so I need the out star like that. So now I can use it, and now I'm gonna change this, go back to be the dismiss. By doing this, now what's gonna happen, it's now I can put this inside my address form and say save equal this that save. Okay, so now I can go to my address form, change the navigation. I don't want it from here, and I don't want that here. What I want, it's just saying this that props that save, the method I just passed from the props, and I can keep the saving here because this is the one we're gonna change. But now by doing this, we're gonna test if that still works. So now if I go there, I click on, I'm gonna create a new address, so 666, click on this one, and I click save. Now what happened? Message prevents, it's a required field. So what happened? Prevents a required field. Pretty strange. I maybe think my code wasn't not good enough. Oh no, I know why. It's not my code the problem. Yes, it's my code, but not the same as we think. It's this save, okay? We see this address, and this address don't exist in the context of this class. So we want to get an address from the callback right there, like that. Sorry, that was a big mistake. So now here inside the this.prop.save, this one need to receive an address, so we can just pass the address like that. So now just by doing this, we should be good to see it. Yeah, that was like that. So now if I go there and I click add and I click 66, I click on this one and I click save. Same thing, you see? Nothing break, we have the same thing, but now address form, it's becoming more dumb because now you just need to know, okay, what is the method you want to call when I save? That's it. The logic stay the same, but yeah. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to do the same with the edit, okay? So for going faster, we're gonna copy this function to the edit. Also, to go faster, we're gonna just copy this both import. Inside the edit, we're gonna inject the out store, and for the save here, we're gonna receive the data. And what I want first to get the address from the this.props.navigation.get params address. Okay. So the same thing we get there. One thing you can do to make it better, if you want, it would be to like creating a computed, so you can having always your address like that, so you don't need to have this big messy like a long line. But yeah, I mean, for now it's okay. And why I do this, it's gonna be because we're gonna create a new kind of function for updating an address, and you're gonna see why I want to do this kind of stuff. So for continuing on this stuff, we're gonna go to the user address model. So if we look back to the current user model first, we see we have an address with an array of user address model. The beauty of MobX-State-Tree, it's each model becomes its kind of own instance, and now they can have method wrapped to them. And one of the methods we can create here now, it's gonna be the update address function. It's gonna be a flow one. So it's a flow one because it's gonna be an async one. So flow, take a function, generator function, and inside this function we're gonna have data. Okay. So here we're gonna do the logic about updating an address. And why we want to do this is because now inside my edit address screen, this address is it's an instance finally of this model. So what you can do now is just say await address dot update address, and you pass it the new data. That's it. And what I really love about that, it's now when we're gonna update the address, because you have an identifier, MobX-State-Tree gonna know which one have update inside the current user model. So we don't need to change nothing here. If a child update, that's gonna update here. And the beauty of this, it's example, if you use Redux, if we use Redux, we're gonna see a lot of stuff like that. Like example, you're gonna have your switch statement, where we're gonna have like your action.type, and after that you're gonna have a case update, I don't know, like to do, and after that you're gonna return your array. You're gonna say state.todo, and after that you're gonna, sorry, it's a long time I didn't do Redux, state.todo.map, and all here after that you're gonna check if an element is equal l.id equal action.id, and after that if it's equal you want to update it, so you're gonna say example el, and you're gonna update all the action stuff you want to update, and else you're gonna do I want to return my el, like that. So now you're gonna update your to do this way. You see, you need to map over each of your element and update it, and yeah, I mean it's kind of messy. Or you can maybe create, I don't know, like a map. You say all my state, and now here you're gonna have your action.id, and after that you can return your state.action.id to update it, and after that you're gonna want to pass all your action stuff, and I mean that become kind of messy. And sorry if I did some mistake here, just to showing you the stuff. Here now, with MobX-State-Tree, I want to update the address. So here I'm gonna do my API call with myself. It's my address who need to update. It's the only one who need to care about what is happening. So I really like this kind of idea. So the way that's gonna work for that, it's gonna be first we need to import the base API we have created. So base API from API. After that, here we're gonna do const res for result, yield because it's a function generator. Remember we have this star, base API dot URL. Here for the URL we're gonna use backtip because we're gonna say addresses slash, like that. We want to do a put request, okay? And for the address here we're gonna need to have the ID because is him. We can use its own ID. If we update an address, when you're gonna click on this, that's gonna be the instance itself. So he has his ID, so he already know which one we need to update. After that, we need to use the out. And the way that's gonna work, it's if we look here in the current user when we create an address, okay? We did this kind of bearer stuff. Now the question is, how can this address get the self-out token like that? The way that's gonna work is we need to get the parent. So we're gonna create a view where we're gonna have the self. Here we're gonna say get user. I want to get my user. I need to get the get parent from MobX-State-Tree, and here I'm gonna just return get parent. If you do this like that, the parent is gonna be the address array. But me, I want the instance. So here inside the get parent, you can put a depth number. 1 is the array, 2 is the user. So now here I can have the user. Now start to you're gonna be kind of, that's gonna be hard to understand what's gonna happen now. But here I say self.user. So now the self.user is this current model. Inside this current model, I have the out, who it's is parent, and this is the this one here, and this one is the one who have the token. So finally, when I say self.user, I want to access the out, and now if I want to get the token, I say out token, like that. This is a put request. I mean, maybe take pause if you want to see how that works, but yeah, but when you understand, then this is a tree, then like kind of you have a top and that go down to the branch, it starts to make sense. Here to my put, I want to send an object with a key data, so I'm gonna send my data like that. And finally, I want to get back a JSON response, so I can just do it like this. Okay, so here now, what I want to do is I want to be able to update my value after having this response. So here inside this response, I'm gonna have an address back. Don't worry, we're gonna create it in the backend. When I have an address back, I want to update my address. So I'm gonna create another function. So I'm gonna still update and I'm gonna pass this res address because I'm gonna create a function here before. I'm gonna call that update. This is the reason why I say update address and update. Update address mean like I'm gonna touch the backend, and update mean I'm gonna update myself, okay? Here I'm gonna receive now the new data for him. And now how can I update this user address model with the value we're gonna get back from the API request, okay? So here when I'm gonna do the update, the API gonna return me the brand new address updating finally. The way that's gonna work, it's if you go to the MobX-State-Tree repository, if you click to API overview, we're gonna use something called apply snapshot, update a node with the given snapshot. Apply a snapshot to a given model, patch and snapshot listener will be invoked as usual. So this stuff, it's more like if you go deeply and you need the unpatch and stuff like that. But finally what that does, the apply snapshot, that's gonna take finally your target and the snapshot you want. So example, I don't know, like you have a user with a name Emmanuel and I don't know, like country Canada. If you want to update it, you can use apply snapshot. You pass user, I want to update my user, and I want to update his country to be, I don't know, like Norway. Okay, like that. The apply snapshot gonna take the user and gonna do the merging for you. It don't gonna break the name and everything. So it's almost like object assigned, but I think it's in a smarter way. So take apply snapshot from MobX-State-Tree, and now right there inside the update, you say just to see, we're gonna say new data. We're gonna say like that, new data, and now what we do is apply snapshot self new data. That's it. If you want to update it, I think it's pretty nice. Yeah, so we want to test this, but first we need to make sure we're gonna finish the edit address. So inside the edit address, we just need to pass it here. So we say save this, that's save. So finally the address form gonna always keep the save, this is a prop that save and passing the address. But the beauty of this, it's because it's a props that can change, so it's pretty nice. Now time to jump in the backend just to make sure we can update an address, okay? So we're gonna go to the address.js inside the server. So it's a workspace, so I can have the server also here. So here what I want to do, it's creating my function where I can update an address, okay? So that's gonna be a function called update addresses. There's gonna be an async function where here I'm gonna receive the ID of the address. So I can say address ID. I want to receive the new address data or values. And I will also receive the user ID. Because remember, this services file we create here need to know nothing about whatever happening with the app. You just need to get property and do the stuff with the database. If I have an error, I want to throw the error. And now we're gonna do some logic here. So first thing, we want to get the address from this address ID, okay? So addresses that find by ID. We pass the address ID. So the addresses, remember, this is the model, okay? Find by ID, we pass it like that. And why we do this? Why I do this find here when I can use find by ID and update example. The thing is, I want to do my kind of validation with my user because I don't want you to be able to update my address. So first thing, I want to check if I have an address, okay? If I don't have an address, I'm gonna throw a new error who say finally address not exist. After that, if my address dot user dot toString, I need to pass this as a string. So as you know, inside my address here, I have my user schema object ID, but it's a schema type object ID. It's not really a string. So if you want to be able to evaluate this with the user ID, I always transform that both in string. And you say user ID to string also, because this one's gonna came from also Mongo. So if it's not equal, that means it's not the user. So what I can do now is throw this error, but saying you notarize. So if you try to update my address, I'm gonna say, hey, you are not the author, you can do this. Now this new address value gonna be something like that. So this thing is gonna be something like an object where we're gonna have like, I don't know, like another street, hello, and we're gonna have also example postal code. You see? Now I need to update each of my property. The way I work here, I will say object.keys. So object.keys that return finally an array of string with each key of an object. So now you can pass your new address value because that was an object. So now we have an array of street and postal code. So here right now we have this. Like that. Now I want to loop over each of them. I don't need to do that map because that map return an array. I don't need to return an array here. So here I'm going to receive a key. So now this key, the first time, going to be the street. So what I want to do finally, it's here I have my address already at the top. And I can say, I want to update my address with the key. So example, address.street. I want this to become equal to the new address.key, like that. That's it. So here that's gonna be update, not save. We're gonna change it after that, but it's update. But the thing is, we have some stuff to change. The first thing we need to change is the postal code. And why we need to do this is because when we create a postal code, you see what we do? We get an object called longitude and latitude, but we want to save it as an array like that. So the way we're gonna work, it's we're gonna say first, if the key equal the geo key, I'm gonna say address that geo.coords equal an array where I'm gonna have my new address value with the key, or you can say geo, but I'm gonna keep it as a key like that. Dot longitude first, and the same thing where I'm gonna save my latitude now. Like this. Else, if my key equal postal code, and finally else I can do this. Because if I have the postal code, what I want to do is the same thing as I do in my controller. So if I go to my controller, you see I do this thing with my postal code. Okay, so now I can change it right there. I can say address that postal code equal new address value the postal code replace, or you can say key. I don't know like why I like to put this one in the left side and this in the right side, but I mean it's always what I do. So here it's for replacing each white space if you have white space between your postal code family. So now here we update it. So now we have a brand new address at this point. So here the address here, it's not anymore the same as the address here. Okay, this one is the one change. So first thing, it's not safe. Like I told you, it's not persist in the database. If you want to persist it now, you're gonna need to use another async function called save. Now I save and I want to return this address like that. So now all this logic need after that to be managed inside the controller. So now if we go into a controller, First thing I want to fix is this stuff, okay? Because it's gonna start to oh no, I mean, we can keep it like that. So I'm gonna say, just to go fast, I'm gonna copy that, change this to be update. After that, I want to receive an address from my, here I'm gonna import my update address function we have just created. So update address. This update address function here, remember, need three things: the address ID, the new address value, and the user ID. So for the address ID, we're gonna get that from the parent.id. And if we look back to the user address, that was this ID we pass here inside the URL. After that, this is a put request. So we're gonna manage this inside the route, but here we're gonna have also, we need to pass the new value, and the new value gonna came from rec.body.data. And now here you can do a check if no rec.body.data, you can, I don't know, like res, return res at status 400, send status 400, like that. Send status, because if you want to just return a status without any message, like that. And now here I need to pass the user ID. So the way you get the user ID, it's by doing rec.user._ID. And after that, we're gonna return a 200 with the address back. So you see, it's pretty simple. After that, when that get to the controller just control, do the user is authorized, and do have the body stuff I need. After that, we're gonna go to the route of the address. We're gonna here after that take the update method from the controller. We're gonna do a put request, where here we're gonna add a param ID. This is the way you can handle this. It's by putting a variable this way. And update. So the name you put here, remember, this is the name you're gonna get here. So now I'm gonna look if my server is still running. Perfect. Looks good. The way we're gonna handle this and see if that works, it's from the front end. It's not the best way, but for this tutorial, I think we should be good. So just to see it, I'm gonna console log address receive. After that, I'm gonna console log new address values. And finally, here I'm gonna say update address with. So we're gonna see this in the console of the server. So to make sure everything works, so my address form, I'm gonna click save. And this save method is being called from the edit address screen, who call the update address. And the update address, it's coming from my user address right there. So here I'm gonna say, from my front end, I'm gonna say res and get the res and see what's gonna happen. Should be good, I think, but. So now I go there. I'm gonna take the first address 2231 and I'm gonna change it to be 89. So you see, when I click first thing, that update there, but it's not saved yet. So now if I click edit, I get a result from my backend. So first thing, I'm gonna check the backend. So address received, we receive the full address, because when you update, like I send the full object we have here. So I send this full object where I have the 2231 blur. Sorry, it's my mistake. So this thing is the address we have find here. After that, we have the new address value where I want to change the street, where was 2231, to become the 89 base street. And I want to also change the latitude, longitude with this value and everything. And you see, it have some change. And when I update, now you see my update, it's done. And I have my my value get update. You see here the mongoose because of the debug version. And inside my front end, I receive an address here where I receive the address with the new stuff. Like you see 89 base 3. In my new data, I send this to my update version. Now the thing is, if we look back to the outstore.info, the addresses, that to JSON example, and I look to my first argument, you see it's 18 base 3. And the geo is working, okay? It's the brand new one, but why didn't update here? Again, remember this stuff here. One sec. This stuff here, you're gonna need to receive an observer to make it change. Because if I refresh my screen, we're gonna see it working already. You see? So now I'm gonna change this 89 base 3 to become 111 queen. Now if I update, I can edit. Now you see, you get update, backend have work, and the front end have update. It was pretty simple. Now, before finish this video, we need to do another CRUD operation, and that's gonna be the delete. And we're gonna speed up a bit, just to make sure we can finish that. So for the delete, it's gonna be really simple, simple. I think it's the more simple one. So we're gonna create inside the address services in the server, delete address function, where here we're gonna have an async function, where we're gonna have the address ID and the user ID. And why we need the user ID is because I don't want you to delete my address. So here, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add this find by ID stuff. I don't need this console log, and also I'm gonna remove console log here and console log here. I hate adding too much console log. So here I check if the address exists with the address ID, and after that I want to check if the user can delete it. And finally here I will return an async function which is called remove, where it can delete. Because I don't really want to return nothing, I just do this, so you're gonna finish finally the premises. And now what I can do is going back to my controller. Now the thing is here I want to take the delete address, and as you can see I do create, I do a user address, I do update. The thing is, if I do delete like that, it's not really the good thing to do. And why not? It's because this delete, it's a word in JavaScript. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say I want to import everything as addresses services, and now each time I want to use something before, I will do like that. So address services is gonna be an object with everything like that. So now I can call that add delete address and use my stuff. Now here we receive rec and res, and I'm gonna just copy paste just to go faster, but you're gonna see it's gonna be pretty simple. Address services, I take a S. Gonna call the delete address method. We'll take an address ID and take the user ID, and if this is working, we send a status of 204. We made no content. This is the one I send when I do this. After that, we need to go back to the route. Inside the route now, we're gonna have the delete address. So that's gonna be a delete method, delete address like that. Now, inside my user address, we're gonna have, so user address, we're gonna have now this delete method in himself, because this address want to delete him. He don't want to delete the other one, he want to delete himself. So after the update address, I'm gonna create another function called, I'm gonna just copy paste that, it's gonna be faster. So delete address. Here that's gonna be the same API stuff, but now this is not anymore a put but a delete, and I don't need the delete the JSON response. I just need the res. Here what I will have to do, it's checking if the status equal 204. So the status we just sent. And now how can we delete that? So in MobX-State-Tree, like when you want to remove some stuff like from your node, you need to do this from the parent side because the parent can control his children. So the way you can work with that, it's if we look back to the API stuff here, we have the destroy method. Remove a model element from the state tree and mark it as end of life. The element should not be used anymore. Okay. So this destroy method is a method I want to use to delete my element from my user address array. Okay. So the way that's gonna work, it's inside my user model. I'm gonna add another function at the end called remove address. So this is the parent. Okay, remember this is the parent. This is the one who have that. Here I will import a method called destroy from MobX-State-Tree, and now here I'm gonna receive an address. And what I want to do with this address is just call address like that. So that's gonna remove the node from the state the tree. So that's gonna remove it from that. So it's gonna disappear. So what you can do now after that inside the addresses, it's you can call the user by doing self-let user, because remember we do this here, and now we can just call a method we just create remove addresses and passing the self because we want to delete him. So the self become the address here. Okay, so now to be able to do this, we're gonna go back in the edit screen and we're gonna create a new action button. I don't really need an action button, but yeah, I mean, I can just do an async function here. So I will say delete address equal like that. That's gonna be a try catch because we're gonna have an async function inside that. And now here, what I will do, it's first thing I want to get my address first, because this is the one who have, what the heck? This is the one who have the delete. After that, I don't want to let the user delete without showing him a warning. So you can take from React Native, so the alert component. And here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say alert, where I'm gonna say, are you sure? And now here you can pass an array of button. The first one, I want him to have a text of yes with an onPress method, which is going to be an async function, where here we're going to say await address that delete address like that. So I don't even need the async here because the async is done here. So if the user click yes, I want to do this, and after that I want to close the screen. And also the second button is gonna be text cancel, and this one is gonna be style cancel. And because of Android, I want to make sure that it's cancelable. And now this delete address, I will pass it right there. So I will say delete address equal delete address. So now my address form, what I'm gonna do in my address form is gonna be pretty simple. I just need to create a new button, okay? So at the bottom here, I'm gonna copy this button and I'm gonna say when I'm in edit mode, I want to be able to see this button, but here that's gonna be delete. After that, I'm gonna change the style to be delete button. And when I click on press, when I'm gonna click on press, I'm gonna call finally this that props that delete address. So for the button, delete button here, we're gonna have the background color of red and the border color of red also, and I want some margin button of 20. long code, but I want to go faster. So now, if I click on my address and I click add, nothing changed. But now if I click to this one, now I will have a delete button. I say merging button, it's merging top. Should be good after that. Perfect. Now I'm gonna have my server running also. And now I want to click delete. So we're gonna have an alert. We say, are you sure? If I click cancel, nothing happened, and I can go back and say, oh man, that was almost a big mistake. But now if I click delete and I click yes, you see? So first thing, we have find the address. After that, we have remove it. So it's removed from the backend. And MobX-State-Tree, smart enough, I've destroyed it. We didn't need to do filter, slice, splice, or whatever method you want to do for deleting this. Now I go back, I get back to my address, I fetch it, nothing changed. Just to make sure it's not because of some caching issue. I get there, I still have the same. Now I can still add one. And that's work. I can delete this 664. I can update this one to be you see, it's pretty nice. I'm really happy with that. So the code's gonna be in the repo link in the description. Let me know if you like what you see in this video today. Told me also if you like more this font family. I think it's Menlo, and I put just font weight of like 600 to make it better for you. Okay, yes, so that was it. Let me know if you didn't like MobX-State-Tree yet. I think now that can show the power of it. I'm gonna also put the link in the description of the repo of MobX-State-Tree. So have a good day everyone. Bye.